Okay, so welcome back to Gumade's Coins and Banknotes, and today we have an updated catalogue of the coins of Kenya. So, the last time I made a video about Kenyan coins, it's about a year ago, and I really haven't specialised in these coins or made a complete video for about 2 years, 19th September 2023. And I've only got 4 videos on Kenya, but Kenya is actually quite extensive. So before 1966, when Kenya issued their own coins, as well as Tanzania and Uganda also issued their own coins, they used the East African shilling, which was introduced in 1921. And they introduced it to replace the florin because the silver value of that had increased enough during the First World War that it replaced rupee, which had become overvalued in silver price compared to exchange rate, and they devalued the actual silver content of the coin, which is really sad, but it's also a pretty common thing to do for countries. Now, the florin was 50% silver and 11.66 grams, so it's pretty much equivalent to a rupee, which that was the silver exchange rate at the time. And in 1921 they issued the shilling, which I have here. This is 1952, the last year of issue, but they reduced the silver content to 25% and the coin weight to 7.78%. So really, even with the devaluation of the silver, it's less than the florin. So pretty much we try and just remove silver in the actual colony, which they did in 1948. So this is the last copper nickel coin, but it's the highest value coin in circulation at the time. So 1966, Kenya issued their own coins, and pretty much the Kenyan coins are the same size as the East African coins. So, but Kenya, they put Mr. Kenyatta, so the first president of Kenya, on the coins. And on the other side, they have the coat of arms. So there are 3 different versions of the actual. So this is the front of the coin. This is the reverse. So from 1966 to 68, they had no lettering on it. And even though there's lots of space, it actually looks quite nice with the motto. So here's the last one, 1968. And then we have 1969. They put the first president of Kenya, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. And you think that Kenya is probably named after Kenyatta. No, Kenya is named after Mount Kenya, which is mainly a basaltic volcano, composite volcano. So then we have 1978. So 1978 was the last year in which they put Kenyatta on the coins. Up until they redesigned the coins in starting from 1994. So here we have which they have Arap Moi, but in 2005 they put Kenyatta back on the coins, and in 2018 they changed the coins completely. So from 1978 they also issued coins. Okay, that's Arap Moi. They also issued coins with Mr. Arap Moi on them. So basically you got 3 different reverses of this coin. So he was the dictator at the time. Okay, so I got quite a few, and these are readed. Okay, we start off with the 5 cent. But first, there is one coin that is missing, and that is the 25 cent, which is in between these 2 coins. It's also a copper nickel coin and smaller than that, probably the size of a footprints coin. But that was only minted to 1973, and after that they didn't mint any coins, and pretty much a mintage of the 1966 and 69 are the only common coins. I think there's about 1 million, something like that of each. Now the survival rate, I don't know. I presume it's actually quite low. Okay, so 1966 and 67 had 4 million coins. And then we had 1969 at 200,000. So basically that's it. Okay, so the 5-cent coins, 5.6 grams, 25.5 millimeters. And we have the 1966. Shouldn't be too hard to get these in uncirculated because the mintage is 28 million. So, and there is no designer of these coins. And most likely these are minted in the UK. Although the engraver is Norman Silman. Now he might be the designer, he might not be. But he would have had some input in the design. Okay, 1966. So this one didn't have any lettering. Then we have 1970. So the lettering version was issued 1969 to 1978. And the key date for all these 5-cent coins is 1969 with 800,000. Now I'm not talking about the proof coins, which are a bit different. So this 1970 had a mintage of 10 million. 1974 had a mintage of 5.6 million. 1978, depending on which one it is, okay, the Kenyatta issue, 23.168 million. And 1980, which has the Arap Moi. So the 1980, this coin for circulation, this is the first year of issue, and the last is 1991. And there are no mintage figures for this coin series with Mr. Arap Moi on the coin. So if you want to buy one of these, about $1 each, except for the low mint ones. Okay, then we have the largest coin to date. Actually, I think the second largest. The largest was the 2 shillings. It's actually quite a big coin. So we had the first year, 1966 to 26 million. I don't have that coin, but 1967 had 7.3 million. And a lot of the times you're going to get these coins in well circulated condition. So this is how you determine circulation is, I like to use the effigy and the hairstyle. So the hairstyle does have a lot of fine detail in it, but if you lose detail and it's smooth, there is no eyebrows and the ears are joined, it's well circulated. So here's another one. This one's in even lower grade, probably fine condition. And then we have 1968 with 12 million coins. And the population of Kenya in 1965 was about 9.5 million. And in 1980 it went up to 16 million. So they needed enough coins for that amount of population. Okay, so the next series we have 1969 to 78. And pretty much the low mint coins in 1973, 74, 75 are 3 million. This 1971 had 32.4 million, so it shouldn't be hard to get in uncirculated condition like this. Here we have 1978, last year of issue, 22.6 million. Then we have this 1984. It looks like it's got bronze disease, or it could be just discoloration. So this was issued from 1978 to 94. Is 9.4 grams of nickel brass. It's 30.8 millimeters, so nearly 31 millimeters. And there are no mintage figures for any of these coins with Arap Moi, and that's going to be the same for all the denominations. They stopped issuing mintage figures in 1978. Okay, then we have the 50 cent. So this is a similar size to a 6-pence coin. So it is 3.8 grams, 21 millimeters, and it's copper and nickel up until 1994 when they issued plated steel. So 1966 they issued 4 million. So it's probably a bit of a harder coin to get in uncirculated grade. 19 Okay, so this one is also 1966. 67 was 5.1 million, 68 was 6 million. So this one's pretty much uncirculated. 68, 6 million. So just remember the population is probably about 11 to 12 million, which means that there wasn't enough coins for the actual population. So it could indicate that a lot of the population didn't use coins even at this time. Okay, so the next series, 69 to 78, all the Kenyatta. And 73 had 3,360,000. That's the lowest minted coin you're going to find. And the highest minted is 1978 with 20,480,000. Here we have 1980. And once again, like all the other denominations, they did change had 3 different reverses on the coins. And once again, the Arap Moi coins don't have any mintage figures, but there was only, for circulation, there's only 1980 and 1989 issued for the 50-cent coin with Arap Moi's head on it. And then 1994, but that's a nickel-plated steel. Okay, then we have the 1 shilling. So this should be a high minted coin because you needed 4 for change. And so this coin is a 7.9 gram, 27.8 millimeters, and it's minted at Tower Mint in London. Once again, they have the coat of arms, which has 2 lions, a shield. It looks like a chicken with an axe, so it's going to cut its own head off. Harambee. So what does Harambee mean? You can look on Wikipedia and it gives you information about the coat of arms. So 1967 had a mintage of 4 million, so this is the lowest minted coin without any of the motto on the reverse. 1967, yeah, so about $3 or $4 in uncirculated grade. 68, 8 million. 1966 had 20 million. And then in 1969, they put with the effigy, they put the motto on the coins. And once again, like all the other denominations, this one was used from 1969 to 78. And 1969, a mintage of 8 million. We have the next one, 1975, with 40 million. So this is pretty common. So a lot more common than the 50 cent. Then we have 1978 with 20 million. And we also have another 1978. Which one is that? Oh yeah, same guy. As you can see, high mint coins. Then we have 1980. So this is the first year of issue for this coin. And once again, like 50 cent, there was only 1980 and 1989 issued. And then 1994 they issued the nickel-plated steel coin. Okay, now, then we get the scarcer coin. So this is Kenya, the 2 shillings. We did see some circulation based on the 1966 coin. And as you can see, the size difference between these two is a bit. But, because this is a large coin, I doubt it very much it was fairly popular. It is a 14.2 gram, 32 millimeters. So the 10 cent is 31. This one is 32. Thickness is, so it's a bit thicker. Also the metal makes it stand out a bit more. Okay, so, and also they copper nickel. Okay, 1966 had 3 million, so this is the more common version. And 1968, 1 million. So, the 1966 should be the more common coin you're going to find. Then they issued the motto version from 1969-71. So this 1971 had 1.92 million. So nearly 2 million coins, so the second highest mintage. So the key date you want for this one is 1969 with 100,000. This one probably cost about $10 to $20. not really a cheap coin. Most of them, because it's the highest value coin, were probably withdrawn from circulation as it faded out of existence. Okay, the last coin we have is the highest value coin up until 1994 when they issued the 10 shillings. And this is the 5 shilling coin. And you can see it is a 7-sided coin like the UK 50 pence. And there's only 2 dates, so there's 1985 and 1994, because in 1995 they changed it to a bimetal coin, which is a bit smaller, although design's pretty similar. So the first coin had a Rup Moi, and then in 94, they issued it in nickel plated steel, but it also still had Rup Moi's head on it. So a lot of these coins you're going to get like this, pretty circulated grade. This one in uncirculated, I'd say it's probably at least 50 to 100 million of these. Now probably minted over a few years of a frozen date. And a Rup Moi was used up until 2005 when they issued coins of Kenyatta, as I said before. Okay, so in this condition, probably about $4 or $5. In this one, probably $1 or less. Anyway, that is basically what you need to look for in Kenyan coins. So the most valuable coins out of these lots is probably the low mint, especially the 50 cent. But the 25 cent is what you're looking for, as well as the 1969 2 shilling coin. Anyway, thank you very much. Have an awesome coin and banknote collecting time. If you have any questions, please leave it down below.